Welcome everybody to the resolution of Rolling Until Ragnarok's summer miniseries, The First Shuffle. I'm super excited to be here. Say hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, man. We are, today our sponsor is Fast Fest. It's in September. We're actually, a bunch of us are going to be there in person. I know I am, but I hope you all come out. It's in Myrtle Beach. If you are on the East Coast, definitely come out. It's September 2nd of this year. It's a one-day event. It's pretty big. If you want to play D&D with us, I will have a whole room set up and a constant battle going the whole time. So you can make a character, jump in, have fun, jump out. And there'll also be some panels that we're taking that I'll be on. So, and maybe some more of us. I don't really know. I haven't really done a lot of research into what's happening at this thing. But they are our sponsor, and I'm really excited to be there. So, yep, that's right. Fast Fest, September 2nd, Myrtle Beach. Let's do this shit. But anyway, that's me pretending like I know what I'm doing here. All right, let's... We ended the last episode with the Herald of Entropy, our giant red ancient dragon, casting a gravity well and getting completely messed up by Jathir as he reversed gravity and ruined it. And in his anger, he dropped his claw down, grabbed Amberset, and took her straight through the spire. This is just where we are happening to pick up. So basically, you guys, everybody except for Duskara here, who is not here yet, you guys would have watched as, I think that because of the tear in gravity twice, you guys would have been jostled a bit, and as you are catching yourself, you would either be floating in midair, depending on if you happen to be on the dragon or not. Because I believe Zathir, you were fighting on top of the dragon, running around it. I know Rhea, you were flying a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But there would be this moment of just almost like just sheer chaos in your senses, with gravity like shifting twice and like pulling and then tossing you and then stopping. And then this giant eruption of fire and smoke and soot as you look down, and now this giant, I mean huge ancient red dragon used to be, there's just this smoldering hole and a little bit of smoke and steam as it just goes straight through all of the levels of the spire, just pushing through itself and having Amber at the front of it. You guys have a moment to catch your breath, react. What are your first initial reactions to this?
Zahir jumped after the dragon.
Oh, okay.
If you jumped, then I immediately would be flying right behind you, because that's what?
It's okay. Zahir has a plan.
Okay.
And after I use my magic to keep them from going down there, I see I'm not appreciated.
I think Ivan would look over at you and be like, I feel like we can allow the dragon to be their problem now.
I agree. I just try to keep them away from it, and they jumped after it, so let us move on.
I mean, you did a great job. I think looking out, you would, without the dragon here, now you guys are on top of the spire with a giant hole in it. You'd look out, and then this is around the time you'd notice that, like, there are other, like, smaller, still large, though, but smaller dragons, like young adult dragons of different colors, like, attacking, like, Angelicans in the air. If you, like I said the last time, if you were to look down, you'd see the war, like, kind of raging on through the northern part of the forest, where the orcs are just killing droves and droves of demons. And I think for a moment, Ivan would look around and be like, well, we need to get back to my room. And I know that this dragon is taking them back there, but I mean, although I do still have this crystal, and he'd pull out the large black crystal that he had made from the demon's face. We could start elsewhere.
Are you prepared for that?
I feel like we should get out of the city and start. They did call your patron, though. So that means that they will at least have support in that way. I don't know. It sounded like my sister said she was coming. What do you suggest?
There's no telling when your sister will be here. Now, we have work to do. We could move outside of the city, but that would take time and effort. What is in your, is there anything in your room that you still need?
I mean, that's where that is where the first rift I was making is. It would take me a long time to gather up more of those crystals and, what are these? There's a word for these things that you all made. Anyway, more of these
Well,
stones.
it seems to me we should not waste the effort we've already put in. We don't know how much time we have, and we need to be quick to make sure that our plan goes off without a hitch.
Right. Well then, suppose Dragon Slayers it is. And he would look over. Doontal, are you still up top?
He'll just kind of nudge Ivan and then like gesture down the hole. He's still in baby dragon form, and then he'll just jump right down.
Ivan will be like, see? Small dragon, Doontal is correct. I'm going to have to go. And he'll just fall backwards down the hall. Fucking whatever. Ivan and everybody going down this hall. So you're the last one up there, so you can keep, unless you would like to tell me what you're doing. Otherwise, it can stay your secret.
Are there like aerial demons, like, or is everything happening down below?
No, there are. You don't see aerial demons yet, but you do see other dragons attacking Angelicans in the air. Like there is a whole battle going on above you and around you.
Okay.
You don't see demons specifically yet, though. I will say that. The only demons you do see are when you look down and you look past the like smoke and fog. There is a battle raging on the ground far below in the north. And the reason I'm not making you roll for that is because last time Zahir rolled for it. And so everybody kind of got to know what was going on around.
Okay.
We're carrying her very, very good roll for investigation over.
Then what I'm going to do at the moment is...
Really, according to my notes, at least. That's what we're doing.
Okay, for the moment, I'm just going to start making my way down to where everyone else is, but I will let you know if I decide to do something shortly.
What side are you going down? Are you going down the outside of it, or are you going straight down the center of the big hole?
I would step off into the big hole, cast Featherfall on my way down.
Okay, cool. Great. We are going to come back to this in just a second. I need to have our good friend Dusky do a little bit of rolling. So, Duskara, you guys say basically told everybody that you guys would come help after Rhea called and asked very nicely for assistance from Mar. Even though Say took the call, she decided for Mar and you guys that you guys would go help. You guys never really got very far anyway. You kind of were just chilling in the woods and deciding on what to do next when the northern woods lit up on fire and Mar kind of was like, yeah, it's about right. I did tell them that this was going to happen. So you guys would be coming back, but the question is for you, and Say, I guess specifically, you know that you're going back into a war scene. You know that Rhea has asked Mar to come assist with dropping the enchantment on the floating mountain in the sky, to drop the entire thing into the jungle, I believe, is what was the plan. But either way, her asking for assistance from Mar, because he is not a big fan of entropy either. But that being said, you're walking into a war scene. So what are your overall plans to get here?
That's a good question.
What
I'm
would
still
be our
trying to
initial
find the
thoughts?
whole help function, right? Just because, when we left off, Say and I had left for a reason, right?
Mhm.
Like we were, we didn't really like any of them. So she calls and we're just supposed to drop everything and be like, yeah, we'll come help. So, I understand Say agreed, so we're obviously going to go. But the question again is going like, how much help, quote unquote, are we actually providing? Are we like moral support? Like, you got this, right? Or or is this like a full-on we're gonna go kick some ass type of help, if you will?
I think that while you are having that dilemma, Say and you talking, I think you guys aren't far from where Mar is. Like, Mar is chilling with you guys. Like, it's what he.
Right.
I think that listening to all of it, he would throw his 2 cents in. Why not?
By all means.
I think he'd look up from trying to like teach the now a Latine now named Byron, kind of more about like using magic and like getting himself like kind of focused up. Well, if they asked for help, things have to be dire. Nobody ever asks me for anything help-wise when it comes to them. It would be fun to see how much more chaos we could create. If they're willing to drop the city, I mean, I would love to make sure that that happened.
All right. Chaos it is. And I think Deskar would look over to Say and be like, you up for more chaos?
She would clap excitedly and just be like, always. Man, yep. Let's just, I mean, we should also help. It makes sense. They were mean to us, but they are still family.
Ish.
Yeah, ish.
Okay, with that, since we're not, so we're down in the
You're
we're
like at the
beneath the
southern
city.
tip of the, you're like in the southern part of the woods. Not super far off from where everybody would be evacuating from. So like you guys would stay hidden because Mar would make it so that people couldn't like see you guys in your little like area. But at the
Right.
same time, you would be able to see like, this is where people, like, you would know that people are evacuating. You would be able to see like the droves of like different orcs and humans and all those people like kind of making their way out. You also can see Rael from where you're at anyway. So you can see there are dragons starting to like go around. This is like early before the red dragon like first got there. Like, this is when you're having this conversation.
Right.
Before
In
you
that
all
case-
before
Oh,
you
go
all
ahead.
begin to leave, Mar would say, I will need you all though to understand, when entropy does show up inevitably, do not stay. You all can go. I will make sure that she is at least handled to the point where she will not follow you. I would feel terrible if you all were to fall in our actions of having fun.
Right. I think the Scar would give a bow and be like, of course, thank you. So it sounds like I can summon my giant ass spider and we can just walk straight right to
Perfect. That's what I was thinking. Why don't you go ahead and roll me a it's intelligence you cast on?
No, I think I cast on wisdom.
Okay, great. Roll me a wisdom check and then roll me a D100.
Okay, wisdom check. 13 for the wisdom check.
Okay.
And D100 is a 24.
Very cool. Cool. So you begin to bring this giant spider. I don't remember what we named him. Bob or something like that.
Yeah, but I think Say named him Bob randomly.
Yeah. So you begin to make the spider grow, and Say gets super excited. She is very happy to see Bob again, and she's clapping. And then I think seeing all this, Latine, Byron would stand up and be like, oh yes, grow. I remember that, but I don't remember how to use magic like this anymore. But I know that I could. And he would start to you'd see him start to push his hand out, and there'd be some green vibrations, and it kind of ebb and swell for a second, then fizzle out. And Mar would it'll come back to you, don't worry. And he'd ruffle his hair, and he'd look and say, this is a wonderful start, but we can do so much more than this together. Duskara, I think, allow me to assist.
By all means.
And he would reach out and tap you on the head, just right in the on your forehead, and you'd feel this. It'd feel like brambles and vines coming up and coursing through your hair, and then you watch as this crown spikes off of your hair, and he'd be like, there, no, try it again. And as you were to cast this spell, where before you're casting grow on your spider, this time as you do it, these tethers and almost they look like lashes, lashes or chains tearing out of your skin, and slamming into the ground and the trees and all of the foliage around you, and then instead of electricity, it just feels like when you get your blood taken and you can feel it pulling out of your veins. There's it's just this feeling of you losing yourself in the spell. On a 23, you completely give in, and your eyes go black, and you feel you can feel Mar speaking through you, and you can't control it as the ground starts to shake and erupt. The people off in the distance start screaming and running because they feel they're about to be attacked. You can hear Angelican soldiers and orc soldiers trying to figure out what's going on as this earthquake tremor pulses, and then as you come to coughing, you'll take hold on. You would have taken 42 necrotic damage during this time, as your body gives over to this spell, and you'd look around, and there are just these giant, twisted, almost abominations of animals and bugs put together. So leopards with these giant like chitin armor, and instead of like the face of like this of like a cat, you just see like this giant spider face with all these eyeballs and it's like fangs, or they're like all of these different twisted versions of bugs. There's hundreds of them now in front of you guys. And Mar goes, "This looks like an army that I feel like is worthy of fighting some dragons."
The Scar, I think, would be thrilled to have taken the damage from Mar to summon a giant bug army.
Say would like hug you and be like, look what you did, look what you did. These things are so pretty. Can you teach me?
Anything you want.
And she'd look and get like really serious for a second, unlike her normally, and be like, great, let's go kill things. And we'll spin off from there. You'll get a short rest so you can get your health back before we get to the next part, but I just wanted to explain that it would have taken damage. Huh?
Should I take that now or later?
You can give yourself your health back. I wanted to just explain how much damage it was just making a small contingent of these things, so that you understand later what it's like.
Sure.
Very cool. Switching back to our dragon slayers.
Yeah.
You guys jumped down this hole. So as Zahir, you were the first one to go. So
Yeah.
you're floating down, or I guess you're free falling because you don't have wings.
I don't have wings, but I do have feather fall. I gave Zahir feather fall, imagining once she started practicing, that was something she was required to learn. She hasn't cast a ton of real spells.
Right.
Or traditional spells, but that one was required by her parents, being like, if you're gonna fight, you gotta learn how to fall.
That's perfect. I love it.
So that's technically cast. Then that's why they were like, let's go. Amber's being held on by the dragon. Zahir, that's why Zahir jumped after the dragon.
So while you are still suspended and falling, you and you and Amber have practiced doing the message sending type of thing back and forth. She's not amazing at it, because she's not one that is really in tune with a lot of those type of magics, but this is something that you two practice, so she has a connection with you to do this. You would hear her just say, almost like through a cough, Zahir, I think that I need you to make sure that my daughter remembers who she is and where she came from.
Yes. Whatever you want, Hish. I'm happy to do so.
And then you would hear like a loud roar over, and you'd realize that this is like coming from where you are going. And before the entire, like, as you're floating down, you look down and the dragon is stuck, and it's like almost like flailing about, and you can see as where it was supposed to go through the last couple floors, it's stopped there, and its hand is in this like alcove, and Amber is holding onto a doorway that is part of the like actual structure, with one of its talons through her stomach, and she's staring it down with like this crazy rage in her face, holding the dragon in place. And she starts to talk again, and it's like this mix of fear and determination as like the abyss begins to fill through her eyes, and she can like barely see through her vision swimming, and as like the echoes of like what reality is start to like really take hold on your mind as you are passing away. And now she's just talking through willpower and not realizing that she's just babbling off into this like spell. And at first when she was talking to you, now she's just saying, you know, Maddie, I did everything that I could to give you a life that was equal to others and better than mine. I had to be who I was, but you can be whoever you want as long as you protect everybody. And then she'd start coughing and the dragon would roar and she'd like look back up to it and realize it would like snap into her mind where she is being like, and she would just, as her like as her breath gave out, you would just hear her say to the dragon as it breathes in, I am Amberset Hish, the only of my name, and I will be the prison that binds you. And her wings will go up, and all of the fire from her will like, it'll look like just massive like ropes come out of her and just hold the dragon in place. It can't get out, so thus we don't need a map. It's only in one spot. You guys are floating down to it. It breathes in and like flails and then looks straight up and releases its breath weapon into you guys. So I'm going to roll damage and you guys can roll a dexterity saving throw. Except for Jathir, who is the last person to go. Since Jathir took himself a good old time to get there. I should have really pre-rolled this. I knew this was going to happen.
Oh, I still have haste. God bless.
Right?
Well, it was almost a 2, but mine rolled over to a nat 20.
Nice.
I got a 21. And
this
it
little
has,
dragon is just killing it with these with these throws.
Whoever's near me, because Rhea said that you were right behind me. You still get that plus 3.
Yeah, Rhea would
don't
have
forget.
+3.
So I have 26.
26.
Thank God I've got haste because one of those was a 1. So like it's now a 26.
So with the plus 3, then I have a 15.
Okay.
You also have a D4 from just.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, wrong campaign.
That's the wrong campaign.
I was like, yeah, I do.
Wrong campaign.
She
I'm
was
sorry.
like, yeah, I got a
wrong.
D4. Let me do this.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So far
It's not out of line.
Okay, so Rhea, you don't pass it. The others do. So you guys get to have it. It's fire damage. Rhea, you don't.
Fine.
Oh, I am incorrect. It is not fire damage. This is the second time I've used this breath weapon, so it's radiant damage this time. Sorry.
Oh, so I can have that.
So apparently, yes, you do have it. I didn't realize.
And is that a critical hit?
No.
Or is that
No, it's
no?
no.
Okay.
Sadly, I don't have to roll to hit you for this. You would have taken 84 damage. You'll have it to 42.
Ugh.
It is not
I'm
fire,
down.
so I can't have it again. So it's 42. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna fall out of dragon form and take an extra 14.
Okay. So here, did you say you're down?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, you would see Rhea, I guess, plummet out of the sky too because she's down.
Yeah. I missed it. Just short of what I had.
Okay.
So I mean, Zahir's going down on her sword. She's like almost surfing. She just had it in her hand, ready to swing down.
Then both of you can roll your first death saving throw upon hitting the ground.
Okay.
That's just a 20, right?
Yeah, it's a D20. You're looking for 10 plus for.
Nope.
Okay, so.
Me neither.
Okay, you both get
I fail.
first X there. Jathir, you have a moment to do something since you are floating down next to our dragon friend. You're just a little bit behind him. So, Jathir and Doontal, you guys have a reaction for all this.
Is it just a reaction? Or can I?
Where's Ivan? Because he came down ahead of me.
Ivan just took a bunch of damage. And he is. I will explain where he's at in a minute.
Okay. I'll be looking for
Ivan for the first time failed his fucking throw, so Ivan took all 84 damage.
Oof. Do I have time to cast a spell?
Yeah. No. This is
okay.
It's your turn. Pretty much.
Okay. Cool. Also, did I take extra since I fell out of the air and landed?
Theoretically, you and Jathir go at the same time. In this moment, you. Oh, did you? Do you roll me a Roll me either acrobatics or athletics with disadvantage, please.
Athletics, it is.
I didn't realize you fell out of your flight form.
Yeah,
that's horrifying.
The first one's a 15. And the second one... You know, you win some, you lose some. That one's a nat 1.
Okay. I would say that on your way down, you try and grab one of the sides of the wall or anything. It's hot. You have to let go, and you're just like, all right, I'm just gonna hit the ground at this point.
Yeah.
Seeing him try to catch it and fail, Jathir would just kind of shake his head, and I'd hold my staff out, and I'd cast Vortex Warp on Doomtall. So as long as you don't resist it, I can teleport you from a location, and I have to sit you down on solid ground. So I'll sit you down on the ground or on the dragon, whatever the biggest flat surface is below us.
That will be your turn, though, Jathir, if that's cool. Because like I said, you both are going at the same time, so this will be your turn. That would be your action.
Doomtall will handle the rest.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Jathir, seeing that everyone else just got fucked up, Jathir's not trying to come down here without anyone else to aggro this dragon. So
I feel you. Yeah. Okay. You would get placed. Probably the largest surface would be around the ring of the building that Amber is on. So you'd get placed probably a little bit off to the northern side of the circular spire, because that's kind of where Jathir is falling down at anyway. Jathir, you'd probably land around there too. Just saying, if you're floating your way down, I doubt you're trying to land on top of the dragon, so I'm trying to give you a nicer spot to land on. That being said, Ivan has landed where Amber is, and he's looking at everything, and he's trying to help or do anything. He has very minor healing to him, and she just kind of in her last minute kind of looks and kind of sees Ivan's face kind of fade out, and he puts his hand up to the doorway, the area that she's holding up, and realizes that she's currently the load-bearing side of this area. And he leans in. If you die, this whole thing is going to collapse. So I'm going to need to apologize. I can't let your body go limp. You have to stay. And he'd grab her face and start to push into it. And you'd watch as her soul and essence starts to erupt, and her wings go taut. And through all of it, he would say, "It'll be okay." And as he rips out this giant, or not giant, I would say a fairly decent sized crystal, her body would turn to stone. And he'd look down and look back at the dragon, who now has stone rivets and ties through him. And the dragon will take damage from these magical things turning to reality and coursing through him now. So I'll roll that in a second. And Ivan will look up and go, "We don't have a lot of time in this place before it falls." Oh, and he'd see the two of you fall out of the air. That'll be Ivan's turn. Our dragon.
Oh wait, did I get a chance to cast a spell on my turn?
You fell, so yes, you would. You get to cast a spell as you appear on the thing because he saved you.
Okay. Can I cast a?
Okay, so the dragon took damage. I got it.
Okay. Can I cast Mass Cure Wounds?
Yeah, man. What's the range on that?
It is a 30-foot radius. So.
Yeah, I mean, y'all are in the same room, so I would say that it would get the four of you, not Amber or Ivan, though, from where they're at. Because they're up a little bit more than where you guys are.
That is 16 regained to the four of us, and Rhea and Zahir will be picked up.
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Yes.
And Paul will yell out, "Friends, now not the time to lay down. Time to fight."
Zahir, bumps their chest and they'll be like, "Oh, tis a flesh wound. Thanks, Duntal, my man."
Oh, Duntal. Thank you so much.
Cool.
I'll have my parents write a song about you.
Parents write a song about you.
Thanks to Jathir.
Thank you, Juntal.
During this touching moment, the dragon is going to flail around and try and kill you all.
We're
Only
getting up.
person that appreciates my help.
So I'm going to let
I very much appreciate your haste.
I'm going to let you all decide how you would do this. The dragon can't actually move because it's stuck to Amber and basically like the whole thing. So its entire arm, if you were able to see it, its arm has like these like hard stone wires through it. It almost looks like barbed wires holding this giant dragon to the side of the wall while the rest of its body like flails around. Its like wings like flap. It cannot get out of this. Especially after now she's like part of the stonework of it all because of what Ivan did. Like she's basically holding this thing in place with her spell that is now unable to be broken because concentration wise there's no more concentration. It's just a living spell. So as the dragon flails around, it's out of breath. I'm gonna let you all decide how you do this. You need to dodge or get around its incessant like flailing and craziness. You're looking for a 16. If you can explain to me what you're rolling to get above a 16 on your saving throw, I'll let you do acrobatics, I'll let you do strength, I'll let you do dexterity. Like, if you can explain to me why that is what you're rolling. If not, it's going to be a couple versions of how much damage you take.
I think Duntal, being the big strong guy that he is going to, assume like a runner's position, as one would start a race and start sprinting away to try to avoid whatever's coming in.
That's awesome. Is that like an athletics or a strength check for you?
Athletics, preferably.
Okay, I'll give it to you. Yeah, man. Try and outrun its tail. There we go.
Are there any fissures in the ground? Is there any because we're not on the bottom level, right?
You're not on
There's
the bottom level. You're on like the 4th level, and you can see to the 2nd. So you can see
that much fall damage.
You could see the room. You could see the room that literally is right above Ivan's and the council chamber.
So if you just like stomp down really hard on a loose stone, we can fall through the floor?
Probably.
Well, that feels a lot faster than
okay.
Than running.
So you want to strength check the floor?
I'm just trying to decide how much potential fall damage that would be because I just got up and it's not like I've got that much health left.
To the next room, it's 1 or 2d4 depending on what you would roll.
Okay, that's not.
The max you could take is 8.
That's less than any sort of dragon damage.
I agree.
So let's strength save the floor and see if it would kind of be like Zahir like taking the sword that's in their hand and just like sword in the stoning it.
So then
and
roll perception or investigation first. And that will determine what your strength.
Perception.
Okay, give me that, and that'll determine what your strength check needs to be, because of what you decided to do.
Ooh, 24.
Okay. You look around and you realize that you need to like move, and you can see that there are like parts of the floor that are craggled, and you can see that there's a part of the floor specifically that where some of the groundwork is ripped up. On a 24, you notice that underneath of it is a wooden floor. So you would know that that's the spot that if you hit hard enough, you could just go straight through.
Okay.
So give me that one, and I guess strength check it and just get I'll give you 50-50, 10 plus.
Check or save?
Save.
Okay. Or I was gonna say, or I could just hit it with my weapon. I'll strength. That's fine. Okay.
Rhea, what you doing?
What'd you get?
I got a nat 20, and it's a 27.
Nice. Cool.
Nice.
We'll talk about Zahir in a second then. Rhea, what we doing?
I mean, her probably first instinct would be to just like fly, if she could fly out of the way.
So dexterity or acrobatics, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, hit me with that 16 plus on yours. Jathir, what you doing, man?
Probably the same thing, just trying to fly out of the way or put up a barrier, since Jathir's all about his shields.
If you want to put up a barrier and try and block the damage, like...
Can I roll Arcana?
I'll let you roll either Arcana or whatever you cast on, saving throw-wise. To see if you can magic check the dragon's damage.
I'm going to use my rewrite reality to re-roll this.
The fuck did you just say?
Something that you have?
Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to use rewrite reality because fuck you, Way Watcher. No. Jathir, what did you get?
14. I'm trying to see if I have anything else that'll let me re-roll again.
Okay. Doontal, what'd you get?
I got a 9.
Cool.
You'll go through the floor with me, because if you're on the ground.
That would be cool. If not, he is running straight into that dragon's tail and taking the damage.
Yeah.
Doontal should go through the floor with me, because he had to be close enough to heal me is the thing.
Doontal made his choice. He's gonna get hit by the tail. It's
Yeah,
not
that's
a
fair.
big deal.
No.
Oh, I couldn't use that anyway, so it was a 14. I couldn't use my reweave reality anyway.
Okay, so that's 2 people taking some damage. Ray, what'd you get?
Does he not plus 3 or
I got an 18.
Oh yeah.
Ray, you're good.
Oh
yeah, you all do have +3 because of ours here.
Yeah.
You have +3 because of me on your saving throws.
Good call, Morgan.
Oh, goodness, 17.
I mean, it's only
Look
funny.
at that. Say and Duskar are helping already. No.
Exactly.
What's my motivation to help?
+3.
Don't forget your +3.
There you go.
All right. Let's talk about Doontal taking some damage then.
All right, I'm full health. I'm going into that tail.
No.
That doesn't mean much at this point.
I definitely rolled 2 1s for some of the damage, so you're gonna be just fine, I promise. Anyway, you can go ahead and take 18 damage. 18 bludgeoning damage as the tail sweeps and just kind of like throws you a little bit further next to Ivan and Amber. And Ivan's gonna look down at you and be like, I mean, there are quicker ways to get over here, friend. Do you need help up? And he's gonna offer you a hand to help you up.
Careful, you
He'll
might
take it. Yeah.
Cool. As he pulls you up, he'll give you bardic inspiration on a d6
Heck yeah.
and pat you on the back and be like, "Don't worry, we got this." And turn back towards the dragon, and he'll ready a defense action for you while you get yourself together. So the dragon will have disadvantage on hitting you if it swings at you again, while Ivan is protecting you.
Nice.
Let's see, Zahir. You run, like, take like a couple side steps and then just bash through the floor with your weapon. The wood kind of like cracks up around you, and as you go through to the next level, you land pretty gracefully, I would say, on a nat 20. You do like the whole little like flip and like land as like all of it comes out, and then like right above you as it happens, you see the claw rake through the top of the area. Jathir, I believe that you made your save as well. So as the wind pushes around and the like wings kind of like flail, you're able to put up these barriers, and they kind of just like just cut through your barrier a little bit. I think you'd watch as like one of the winged like the spiky parts of the wing just barely go past your eye line for a moment, and the wind kind of pushed you away just slightly. The dragon kind of saving you from its own damage. Rhea, did you make yours?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you make yours because of Zahir?
Mm-hmm.
I will say that you having kind of come to on the ground, as you watch Zahir do that, you roll and just fall through the same hole as her. Watching
Yes.
the dragon's like hand rake just barely past your face as you like hit the hole, and your wings open up and like push you onto the ground, so you're still kind of on your back, but you're like looking up at like where Zahir just fell through. She's standing next to you. You'll have to use a little bit of your movement to get up, or have Zahir give you the help action as her bonus action to get up.
Okay.
I think at this time also you would take your first breath, and you'd hear Belzak's voice. And you would just, at first you think that it's like a spell coming through your head as he yells, the east is just fine now. It's okay. Rhea, I believe you need my assistance. And you'd realize that's not in your head. It's him standing across the hall from where you're at, looking up into the hole where the dragon's flailing. And he's got a giant spear and his like full armor. He's got some like, there's like some cuts on him a little bit as all of his wings open up. And you'd hear Ivan kind of answer back, "Oh, my lord, our brother's here. Thank everyone." And I will
He's
add
in
Belzak to the
Brazil,
initiative
Ivan.
order. That was my dragon's turn, so theoretically now it is Rhea's turn.
All right. Well, I guess I'll use my little bit of my movement to stand up. And let's see, what will I do?
It's gonna go Rhea, Jathir, Doontal. After Doontal, Duskara, you will get to go. I'm giving you all the order of events.
I was like, I'm in combat here.
I'm going to look to Zahir, as I'm standing up, dust myself off a little bit, be like, thanks for that. You really saved my life there. And
You saved me as well, so it was definitely just a repayment.
we're definitely not going to let this happen again. You are the force that we need to help take down this dragon. And she would pat you on the back, and she would cast Death Ward on you.
Ooh.
So that way, if you do drop to 0 hit points, instead you'll drop to 1.
That's a fun spell. Your Death Ward would
Yes.
look like hard light illuminating onto that piece of her skin or a piece of her armor that you touched.
Mm-hmm.
And as it would start to glow outwards, it would start to like not fizzle, but like you'd see it start to like crack and make static electricity. And the green ball that is circling Zahir's head would start to pull some of it into itself. This is turn 2, by the way. You need to, at the end of your next turn, your ball explodes. Zahir.
Oh dear. Is that that has to be the number that I don't know what that is. Okay.
It's you took 44. It's currently at 76.
Okay, that's what I had. No, because I only used it for.
You only used it for 1,
the
but then
end of the last turn.
then you took the damage from going down, so it's 76
Yep.
currently. Yep. Rhea, what you doing? That's your turn, casting Death Ward?
Yeah, because I don't really have any other bonus actions besides leveled spells.
Okay.
So
very cool.
Yeah.
Jathir, your turn.
Okay. I'm going to cast Ray of Enfeeblement on the dragon. That's that one. And so I guess I'm going to is the dragon facing us or is
No.
it facing
It is
like,
facing
down,
Ivan
like,
and
what-
Doontal and Amber's body. You guys are in the you were floating down, so you're somewhere in the side of it, basically.
Okay.
You have advantage to hit it.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right, because it's down. It's restrained.
Yeah, it's restrained. You have advantage to hit it. You all have advantage to hit the dragon. It's restrained.
Okay, so do I hit on a 27?
I was like, dragons can't be prone. Yeah, you hit it on a 27. Dragons can't be prone, but for all purposes, it is prone. Dragon wise.
Okay. So, it got hit with Ray of Enfeeblement, so it only deals half damage on anything that would reasonably use strength. Any of its strength-based attacks deal half damage.
So all of its attacks except for its fire. Okay. Damn, that's a good spell.
Yay.
Is it the end of your turn?
No, I'm also going to I gotta keep haste up on Zahir, so I'm just going to reach into my sleeve and I'm gonna draw a card from my deck and use it to distract the dragon.
Roll me a d20, buddy.
I rolled 2. So I rolled a 9 and a 16.
Okay, 1 second.
25 total.
You're pulling a what?
Bum, bum, dun. We'll describe it in a second. You said 25?
Yep.
We go to a brief intermission. Aaron, how you feeling? How is this moment for you personally right now?
Okay.
I'm emotionally traumatized.
Okay.
Thanks.
So from like where Jathir is, it would be hard to see because of what's going on, especially where you guys are at. But out of nowhere, there's this giant hand that comes like ripping out of like the side stonework, and the metal like rivets start to pull around, and this huge iron golem just falls onto the back of the dragon and starts holding onto its 2 wings, and like as it kind of like begins to do. The dragon groans, turns. I have to roll something for this dragon real quick. Hey, what's your spell DC?
Mine?
Yeah. I'm assuming it's higher than a 12.
Oh yes, a 16.
All right, cool. Dragon turns and starts to like flail and like try and like slam into this huge iron golem now. And so now it's being held by one side. It's like flailing, has to come to a stop as this iron golem like begins to basically just like hug it and act like it's about to try and suplex it, even though it can't move. And yeah, good job, Jathir. It was the ace of spades, by the way.
Yep.
Can't escape these cards.
Seeing all that, I think Ivan would be like, "Heh, that's what those do. I have always kind of wondered. You've always had them. You know, cards sound kind of fun to play with. I think maybe we'll do that instead of my cube next time."
Stay focused.
Oh, yes, of course. He'd stay defending. Doontal. Doontal, it's your turn. Right after your turn, or actually, depending on your turn, I will take a legendary action.
Okay.
To
Doontal's gonna
this.
Yeah. So there's, a big hole in the tower, so you can kind of see the sky if you look straight up, right?
Yup.
Okay. I'm gonna cast Moonbeam at 4th level on the dragon's head.
All right. You have advantage to hit it.
It just, let's see. It's not really a hit. It's just when it enters for the first time, or if it starts its turn there, it makes a con save.
Oh, well, okay, yeah, it's definitely gonna have to start its turn there. It can't go anywhere.
So it'll be 4d10 or half as much if it succeeds.
Good to know. That's on my dragon's turn?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, now and on your dragon.
Oh, now and on my dragon's
yeah.
turn. Oh. What's the Constitution save?
16.
I got a nat 20.
Fair enough.
I have to get one at some point.
Fair enough.
You weren't here for that, Duscara, but my dragon apparently could not roll at all last game.
But now we've fallen into the rule of when we have 2-day battles.
Yeah. You did say that too at the end of the last. Yeah.
Yes, I know. It's because it's happening.
Oh well,
All right. Okay. So I rolled a 17 on the 4d10.
What kind of damage is it?
Radiant damage, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I have it for me.
Oh, does it have again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm resistant to radiant damage.
Oh, okay. That'll be 4 damage then.
Okay. It's seared. You can see like the outline of the dragon and the moon and the beam just. It's like, it's just getting pummeled from like all sides at this point. I think that for my legendary action, it's gonna breathe in. So the dragon's gonna flail and like pull in as much of the air as possible, giving me 2 of my charges back for my breath weapon. And I will also flail a little bit more, but I'm going to do that towards Ivan and you and Amber. You have advantage on not being hit because of Ivan defending you. So depending on if you fail this or not, we'll decide on what Ivan does. Because okay. I did say that Ivan is specifically defending you for whatever. I need a dexterity saving throw. We're looking for a 16 plus again.
Okay. All right. That is a 17.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to have Ivan also drop his guard and kind of like laugh and point at you as you both like dodge the hand coming straight for you guys. As the dragon like rips through the side of the like just takes off part of the spire's outlying circle. It still is being held up by Amber's stoned body, but now its hand has made a giant hole in the wall, kind of like where Ivan's room was, but up here now there's a big clear part. And as you guys look out, the dragon will pull back, and you see other dragons getting attacked by these like flying misshapen bugs with like talons, and like just they're packing it like, and they're smaller than the dragons, but like five or six of them at the same time are like just bringing down these like younger different multicolored dragons. And I don't think anybody would have ever seen anything like this before. Like, these are pretty scary looking creatures. That being said, Umbra, Duskara, you now know where they were going to be. So, by all means, please make your entrance and take your turn.
My initiative was before Duskara's. Do I not get to go in this order?
You will get to go after her. I did it specifically because when the dragon did its thing to open up, she would have been sitting there.
Okay.
But you will be going right. You're kind of going at the same time as her. But I know that you're going to roll a whole lot of dice, so I was going to let her take her turn real fast.
That's fair. I just wanted to make sure because I didn't get mentioned in that order, and I was
if you would like to start rolling dice, by all means.
It's okay. It's fine.
I feel like I would have made a grand entrance, like, right? Like, I am here, maybe not necessarily to save you, but we're here, right? Type of conversation. And I think, you see like a bunch of bugs. I feel like I would be riding on one of those bugs at this point.
Oh, Say is right next to you, like standing up on the bug, like screaming as her hair like is in the wind as you all like enter. It's like a giant praying mantis.
Like, do we see like everybody? Like,
yep.
Are we seeing like okay?
I would say that you guys are coming from. So, like, the part of the wall that got ripped open, that's where you all were fighting dragons. So you would be able to turn and see them.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like Duskara would probably feel a little smug, in the sense, like, especially, like, seeing Rhea all fucked up and stuff like that, kind of be like, huh. And then I would cast Symbiotic Entity and Divine Favor, and would end my turn.
Nice. What does Symbiotic Entity do?
So you use your wild shape to awaken the spores, It gives me the plus 32 temp health and double damage to the halo of spores. And then it deals an additional 1d6 necrotic damage when it hits with a weapon. And then the other thing I cast was Divine Favor, and that is it basically empowers let me just read it. Your prayer empowers you with divine radiance until the spell ends. Your weapon attacks deal an extra 1d4 radiant damage upon hit.
Bet I remember. Okay, cool.
Right.
Zahir, by all means.
Okay, I'm glad I started rolling. So I'm assuming I have to get back up through the floor. So I would ask Rhea or Belzok, being like, "Can you give me a boost?" Like,
Belzok could toss you to the dragon.
Great. That I figured that would need to be like the movement.
Yeah, I got a dirty 20 for Belzok's strength. I think he could toss you.
Great. Whew. So my first, because 12 and 13 don't hit.
No.
Didn't think so. 29, that was a nat 20 does, though.
Oh, yes. You also have advantage to hit.
Oh, I do?
Yeah, because the
Dragon's prone.
Oh, cool. Hold on. I got to re-roll those first ones then. Oh, that's fun. Okay, so that's a 20 as well. So
That's
that
why I was
actually
like,
is.
you're about to roll
It
like
wasn't a crit.
1,000 dice. I was like, let Tuscara make an entrance.
I didn't think about that. I also had to figure out how to get back up there.
No problem. Rhea, you're next. If you're gonna attack it, you might as well start rolling some dice too.
Okay, that's fine.
Communicate that. Okay, I'll say the nat 20 on that. Let's just. I appreciate you casting that death ward because I'm gonna need it.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Because I'm just gonna go hug the dragon's leg and explode. So.
Got you, fam.
Oh man. Oh, also, while you all are rolling dice and figuring out, I have to do my thing. Belzak would have grabbed you and like thrown you into the dragon as he like kind of got airborne like up above it. You guys enter Duskara and Say enter be next to Ivan, and you would see Amber's body.
I would see
stoned.
Amber's body for the first time.
You all would at this point.
Oh, great.
See Amber's body for the first time, kind of stoned and or petrified and held up. Sorry, I'm talking about Byron, so stoned came out of my mouth. And Byron Latine would kind of enter just behind you guys. Say and Duskara on like, and he would kind of get dropped off by one of the like many bugs like that are flying around, kind of causing more of this destruction and chaos or whatever. And he'd look around and be like, "Ooh, oh wow, that is a large lizard. Oh man." And he'd look over. So Duntal, you would also see Latine again for the this time. As Latine looks around, and I think that for his cast, he will cast the only real spell he knows currently, which is resistance. And since Duntal, you're next to him, he'll give you resistance from fire.
Ah. Very nice. Welcome back, friend Latine, or whatever friend's name is.
Oh,
Appreciated.
yeah, no, I think it's Byron right now.
Well, welcome back, Byron. Friends fight together.
Yes, they do. And he'd kind of like look up and pull a dagger out and like hold it up like he's gonna do something with it.
Okay,
Dagger, what
so-
would he do?
Little dagger, giant dragon. He's like, yeah, I got this. Why not?
That's on brand so much.
Yeah, it is.
God, it hurts. Okay. So, Belzak basket tossed Zahir into the room.
Fastball special.
And Zahir just starts swinging. 5 of 6 hits land. This is a combination of bludgeoning and thunderous damage for 106 divided by 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming.
Yep.
So that is 53 points of damage on this damn dragon. Oh, and the cool thing is that when I crit, because I got that nat 20, I get to do a bonus action melee attack again.
Okay. Where are you hitting it at?
The belly, the stomach.
Okay.
I'm assuming because that's where because I'm like in the bottom part of the room.
I mean,
I'm not
Belzak,
on, like-
Belzak flew straight up. He could have thrown you at any point of this dragon.
Oh,
So you make your decision.
I was attacking from the top earlier because I was on the dragon. Like I think Zahir would stick to. Well, where's Zahir gonna stick to? Because I also don't want to get hit with that tail.
I was like, I could have him throw you to where Ivan and Duntal and all of them are as well. I could have him throw you to Amber's body. Like that's kind of where Ivan is, but it's up to you.
No, that makes more sense. I'll still attack from the top then.
So what part of the dragon are you attacking?
Where are they right now?
They're sitting in front of its face, and where its arm is stuck to Amber, and its face is kind of like here.
I guess I'm on its head. Just
okay, you're on its head. Go ahead, keep going. I just want to describe it properly when I describe you attacking.
Yeah, she stands. They'll land in front of. Because I'm assuming Belzox aims for them. I move a little bit over, so I'm on the head. Because that cyborg thing is holding down its wings in the suplex, right?
The giant iron golem.
Yes. So Zahir's on the head. Okay, so that's 53 damage. My only healing spell is not a bonus action, but Zahir wants to kill the thing. So let's do one more. So melee attack. It's just one more round.
Yeah, you just get one more melee attack.
Yeah, I get one more hit.
It's one single hit.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's a 25, so that also hits.
You're gonna roll damage for this now, right?
Yeah, I'm doing it now.
Okay, cool. So you all watch as Belzoc tosses Zahir, and she starts to like swing as she's in the air, spins, hits the falls onto the dragon's head, and just starts like pushing into this thing's face. And the dragon starts to flail, and she gets like one sword stuck in its like nose and just keeps bashing into it as part of its eye gets ruptured, and you watch a bunch of its teeth just tear out and fall to the side. As you take your last, how much damage do you do exactly?
126 by 2 is 63.
63.
So
great.
So that is
the thunder, like there's this
160.
There's this huge crack as you watch as like the whole mouth like erupts because it was breathing in as it took the damage. So you slam into its mouth, and as it breathes in, you just keep like pushing and like flailing, and you watch a bunch of its like 2 of its teeth on the bottom row just rip off and fall and slam into the side of the thing as Zahir does her best to stop it from being able to use its breath weapon again. You are hanging from one of your swords attacking the dragon's face.
That sounds about right, because it's not like they saw what happened to Amber, but I'm assuming that would give a little bit of motivation of like Amber gave its life,
right?
And Hish gave its life, and Zahir is just like die.
Right. Rhea, it is your turn.
Jesus, that's a turn to follow. I feel like because I mean, like, I don't really have a whole lot of bonus action spells to use, but her main thoughts in this situation would be, okay, I cast Death Ward on Zahir. I know Zahir is going to be our best bet to try to take this dragon down. So she would do she's going into prayer like, Zahir, your only chance, go. And that's when she would also, with the prayer hand, since that's how she casts Guiding Bolt, whip a Guiding Bolt at the dragon as well.
Mm-hmm.
And do 19 damage to it.
Okay. Dragon takes 19 damage.
And then she'd probably be looking for something to hide behind if that could
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's still columns and stuff where you're at. And,
right.
I think at this
theoretically,
point...
Sorry. I was going to say, theoretically, if there was like a method or like a medium that you were to use to cast Guiding Bolt, like, how would you go about it?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like my main method is obviously the finger gun. Gotta have the finger gun. But I felt like it made more sense in this situation for Rhea to be, devout. But finger guns is the correct way.
Finger guns is the
creator's most chosen way. That is the way that she would have taught Belzoc in training. My way is this way, but the most correct way is finger guns.
It's the
very good.
Amen.
Belzoc, being above everything, will take his turn real quick. He'll watch as you do that, and Belzoc would see the moonbeam would be also pouring around him at this point, and he'd say, "Ah, yes, how wonderful. Well, and he'd reach up, and his eyes would crack into the blackness that when he cast a spell, and he'd say, "If my father isn't going to come help, then I will do his part for him." And as he pulls down, you'd see the like light twist and the moonbeam kind of twist through him and then rupture outwards. And I will heal everybody for 43 health.
Wow.
That'll be Belzoc's turn. I think Say would kind of look around and she'd be like, ooh. Hey, Dusky, I think that we were fighting smaller dragons out there and they were a lot more fun, but this one looks like it's almost dead, so, yeah, and she'll cast haste on you.
Ooh.
So your AC goes up by 2, you
Advantage on deck saves.
You have advantage on deck saves, and you have an extra attack action.
Oh.
Okay.
Really?
And then like her one wing.
Speed doubled.
Huh?
And your speed is doubled.
Oh yeah, and your speed is doubled. And
I
then
wrote it down.
she'll look and she'll go, watch this, and she'll go and clap, and a bunch of the bugs will start making these like little staircases for you to walk up to the dragon's face to strike it. And she'll be like, look, see, I can do it too. I got him. And she's like all excited. Byron, who previously had his dagger out, watches as this dragon gets hit a bunch, and he goes, and he will step back a little bit, put his dagger away, and start to like move sideways like he's gonna walk out the little door. Or like the area that's, and then as one of the teeth like hit the ground and break, he's gonna look down and be like, okay, and he's gonna pocket a piece of the tooth.
Okay.
That makes it Jathir's turn, I believe.
Okay.
After Jathir, it's Duntal.
Point of order, I guess. Rhea, did you take your full turn? Because I thought you said like you had an action beforehand with us, but this was a whole new turn.
Yeah.
So I know you cast Guiding Bolt, but I just want to make sure you did everything.
Yep. It'll be Jathir, Duntal, Zathir, you'll go, and then Duskara, you'll go.
Okay.
My armor erupts.
Yes. But all of you will take some of that damage anyway, except for maybe I don't know where Jathir is currently. Jathir and Belzoc wouldn't take it because they're higher up, I guess.
And Rhea's below still, isn't she?
She's still within the radius of you. I would
Oh,
believe.
is she?
She's attacking the dragon, right? No, she's Guiding Bolt.
Yeah, Guiding Bolt, but
then,
she shoots through the
she
force.
won't take it either.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how much to divide it by is the thing.
Okay, I'm going to
I'll help with that. Hold on. Dragon. It depends on where Duntal ends up as well.
I think Zahir would tell Duntal, be like, friend might want to get out of the way from what experimental armor did last time.
Say Byron. Duskara.
Especially because you healed Zahir. Zahir doesn't want to, like, take the damage from you. It's not a...
So right now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, and Ivan. Right now it's 6. It depends where the other people end up before your turn.
Okay.
What are we doing, Jathir? Drawing another card.
No.
You
from up where I'm at, I'm just gonna go ahead and cast a chromatic orb
Very nice.
at 4th level.
What kind?
Let's see. We're gonna do cold damage.
Okay.
Figure it's a fire dragon. Why not? Let's see what it does. Oh, I gotta roll a hit for.
Cold
There we go.
does even to
Yeah.
it.
24 to hit,
24 hits.
and then 26 cold damage.
Takes 26.
It rolls the damage at the same time?
Yeah, it's one of the new things.
Oh wow.
Wait, what?
That's a
really
large bubble.
Anything else?
Yeah, I'm also going to
Draw 3 cards.
I am literally in the next room.
I would say, you're in the vicinity. I don't know why you're trying this.
I'm gonna pop off 2 Eldritch Blasts as well.
All right, damn. Go ahead.
And I've got advantage. I can reroll that. Okay, so that one misses, and then we'll roll this one with advantage. Wow. Okay, it's not the day for Eldritch Blast, I guess. All right.
Very cool.
And I can cast Mage Armor at will, so I'm just gonna
Yeah.
reapply Mage Armor.
I've been assuming you had it on, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm just up. I just need to point it out.
Chromatic orb slams into its side. It's gonna like stop for a second, and you'll just hear, "You all waste time. That's okay." And you'll see like this giant like spat of blood come flying out of its mouth past Zahir.
Yeah.
Doontal, go ahead.
Watch the armor.
Watch the armor.
Can I move the moonbeam to like its wings so it takes the damage again?
I forgot to roll on my turn. I'm so sorry. Hold on.
Yeah, that's fine. I wasn't sure. I missed its turn to play.
I definitely failed that this time. What?
Okay.
How much damage did you do?
Okay.
And you don't really need to move it. It'll just keep taking the damage.
Yeah, it just keeps doing it, I think.
Okay.
So we could do
I was
that
wondering.
on your
I
turn.
just don't have much else to do on my turn.
That's cool.
So okay.
Except move to maybe far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to decide on whether or not you're going to take part of this damage with her or not.
I wouldn't.
And how much moonbeam damage do we do?
It's 23 halved. Does it round up or
It rounds up.
down? Okay.
Oh.
So I'll have to 12 damage.
Okay. Very cool. Are you going to be taking damage with the armor, or are you moving away?
I mean, I can attack it still and then move away.
Yeah.
So
I would move.
yeah, I will. It's fine. It's fine.
Did you keep track how much damage?
Yep.
That's good.
I'm at 116 right now.
Cool.
You know what? We're just gonna chip in a bit, and I'm gonna go with frostbite.
Nice.
Oh, oops.
Heaven forbid you get blood on that armor.
It needs to make another con save.
It'll
Does
just
it?
mix in.
Yeah.
A dirty 19.
Okay. That succeeds. Does it resist cold damage?
No, cold damage does equal to it. No, like neutral.
All right. It's taken 5.
Okay. Yeah.
And then.
Why is it? It says 10.
Oh well, it's succeeded the.
I succeeded the save.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Mm.
it'd be like that sometimes. And then yeah, Doontal will heed the words of his friend and move as far away, I guess, as I can.
Okay.
It's only the explosion happens within 20 feet of me, so
Oh, okay.
right now it's going to be dragging me and Ivan.
No, it's going to be dragon, you, say, Ivan, Byron, and Duskara.
They're all within.
They're
It's
all-
only within 20 feet.
Everybody is within 20 feet of you.
All right, have fun.
That's the end of my turn.
Okay. That would make it Zathir's turn, which is why I said that they were in within, because they don't have time to move.
Okay. All right, let's start. probably should have been swinging. Sorry. Well, that's a.
I'm going to assume how much damage she's going to do, Dusk. If you would like to go ahead and start taking your turn of attacks, if you are going to be attacking it.
That's what I was doing.
Go
the
ahead
dragon's
and start.
prone, right? So like
Yeah, you get an advantage to hit it. Yes.
Okay, just checking. That's exactly what I'm starting to do.
Yeah, start taking your attacks.
We're gonna
think that between you two, if you roll decently, you'll be killing the dragon at the moment. Between the two of you. There's a chance that we might have to go into Rhea's turn, but between those 3 turns, this will end our dragon fight. Because I'm assuming you guys will do enough damage. So based on how much damage you all do, I will describe our scene of the ice blast hitting him in the face right before you all kill this drag.
If any of those attack rolls, I'm going to go ahead and just guarantee this, Alex. If any of those attack rolls manage to miss, re-roll it one time. Jathir will use his reweave reality to give you an extra attack roll.
Thank you. I'm also appreciating the fact that the dragon is, stabilized right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
For these advantages, because I haven't missed yet. I just did one round where I all hit. I got a nat 20 on the last one. So, and I haven't rolled any of the smite damage yet because I wanted to stay on one screen. Mm-hmm. So that's one round where I still have to cast a smite and we have to do that. But let's just go ahead and do the other round. God, I love hate. Again, totally forgot to be rolling with advantage. I'm assuming that's... Yeah, okay, great. We love that. We love advantage. We love extra attacks. Okay, so that's a 27. Oh. I've hit with 5 of 6 so far, so that's fun. For me.
Oh, it's awesome.
I never get to do this. Maybe this will change my entire trajectory on D&D characters forever, or I maybe might miss prestidigitation. It could be either one.
Luckily, there's plenty of melee classes that'll let you use prestidigitation.
This is true. Okay, so the lowest roll that I had to was a 22.
It's wild.
So now let's just do this smite damage.
So with haste, you get 2 main attacks when you 1 bonus, right? Like your normal. Okay.
Yeah. Just tell me how much damage in total you both do.
I do 71.
Is any of it lightning?
No.
Okay, so it's halved. Unless it's cold. Is it cold damage?
No, it's all. I wrote it down. I wrote it down somewhere. Necrotic, poison, and radiant.
Is it poison? Oh, man. Yeah. Okay, so the necrotic and poison do equal damage to it. The radiant damage is halved.
Okay, the radiant damage comes in with the divine favor, so it's only like, a 0.2.
It's cool. So just let me know how much that all is then.
And because I crit, as my bonus action, I get 1 more swing.
Only the divine favor is the one that's halved. Everything else is not, right?
Yes.
Let me go back then.
Poison. That's
21 funny. Still hits?
21 is its AC, so you're good.
Woo!
Or 20 is its AC. I forgot. 20 is its AC because we went through the thing and yeah, it's fine. You're good.
Okay, hold on. I just have 1 more and then I said I have to calculate.
I don't remember who did it. Somebody reduced its AC though. I have it in a note. Was it Jathir?
Probably.
Sure.
One of you guys reduced its AC last match.
I think it was Doom Tall.
Oh, was it?
I don't think I have anything that does that.
Well, the cool thing is
I
that
have
we
a
can go
note
back
here
and
that its
look.
AC was reduced to 18, and I don't know why, but apparently that happened. And I'm sticking by my notes.
Maybe Ivan?
Oh, yeah, it probably was Ivan, actually.
Would be funny if it just got shredded by bunnies, though.
God, it would have been. I'm like in love with the stupid ravenous bunny thing. Like, I need you to understand, like, very
Yeah,
clearly.
no, that was legit, man.
They will come back. Don't worry.
Nice.
I just needed my concentration on resistance for that round.
Okay, so total of 135 divided by 2, 68. So when we add that to the current total of
How much damage did you do, Dusk?
Well, I'm subtracting out the half of the divine favor right quick.
Okay.
Because it was 71, but I gotta subtract with the divine.
Okay.
so I believe my whole orbs now have 184 points of damage in
Yeah,
them.
that's what I got too. Okay, so 184
right.
divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 creatures. Hold on.
Yeah.
31.
Okay. 31.
You're muted. Jathir.
Did you miss any attacks?
No.
No, I didn't. I
Okay,
made sure to.
I didn't need to use that thing on you. Okay, I'm just making sure I still have it.
Okay, so then
No, you still have it.
how much damage do you end up doing, Dusk?
64.
64. Okay, hold on a second. This is funny.
Is it funny like there's 2 points of health left and then Byron gets a turn?
I don't know. I'm finding out. Hold on.
Oh my god.
That would go pretty hard, not gonna lie.
No. Where's my, I need a sheet here because I need to pull down the PowerPoint presentation of why this is potentially infuriating.
Okay.
It would be so funny.
Duskara, describe what your attacks look like. Because this is the first time you've gotten to really show off. So
Yeah, that's
by all
definitely.
means, please describe how Duskara goes fucking ham in this dragon's face.
So basically, she casts Shillelagh on her spider staff and just starts beating the shit out of this dragon. But then you've got all these other additional effects that kind of happen with it. So as she's hitting him, he's getting poisoned and necrotic damage, and and you just kind of skillfully see why she's the shit, right? You just get to kind of see the movement and the flow, and then she's got the huge tree spider branches and stuff that kind of float off of her and stuff like that, and so she's pulling those and stabbing the thing and just inflicting a shit ton of Mother Nature's rage on this dragon.
Beautiful. She goes ham. Zahir, you grab onto its face and just start pulling things out of its piece of its skin off. You got both your swords stuck into it. You pull out your axes and just go into it, and then the orb collapses in and pulls outwards. The dragon starts to rear as its head starts to go limp. You guys did a total of 163 damage when it had 158 health left.
Yes!
I just want to let you know, between the two of you, you edged the dragon out to where it just collapses sideways, and its mouth starts to open to talk as Duskara and Zahir just close it for the last time. It doesn't get a last word in, nothing.
Right.
And it just collapses, and its body goes
totally
limp.
want to turn around and do that huge, that explosion thing that happens, where they just turn around and this explosion happens behind them. This is an everyday thing for me,
Nice. Its body goes limp, and it starts to collapse further. The whole spire starts to shake as the top of the spire rips off and falls. So above you guys now is just the sky. And we're gonna take a 5-minute break right there.
Me!
Owls made it. That's good news.
This time.
The Herald of Entropy lay limp and dormant, dead in front of you all. Still, its talon through the now soulless body of the soulless petrified body of Amber. The weaves of her spell still holding down the dragon's body. You all get a minute to talk. I think Belzoth would land and help everybody to a normal spot that has to be. Ivan would be still kind of where Amber is. It's almost like there's like, if you were to like watch this, there's almost like a tenderness to it. Like although Ivan is somebody that obviously had his own secrets and his own like world of what was going on, it's still one of his siblings. And there's still this like, it's almost like he's standing there between everybody and this body. Like he knows that he had to petrify it himself, but it's almost like you can see that there's like this thing where he doesn't want to move away from it almost. It's almost like he's still defending a loved one. But you gather kind of. On the outside, you can see bugs, dragons fighting. There's still this war going on. Belzoth kind of like casts a wall of force. So now there's this big wall between, so none of them can get through for the moment. He would look and say, please, find some rest, but we must go back to the war. You all have a minute to converse or talk or do whatever. I think Say would kind of take a moment to run over to Doontal and like whether he was going to allow it or not, pretty much hug him and be like, I'm so glad you're still alive. Oh my gosh, we thought you were down in the woods and the forest is being overrun by those demons. They're craziness. But it's good that you're up here, and I hope some of your orc friends got out. We saw some of them walking away. But I know that they don't really like to run away from a fight.
Many thanks, friends say. It is good to see friends again. People of the North are strong and resilient. We'll be alright. Though Duntal should join them shortly.
Yeah, I can, if you need help. We have so many things that can help fly you down there now. And she like gestured these giant bugs with these different wings. They all look these crazy like abominations of like life around them. Belzoth would kind of like sneer at all of this, and he looks just put off by every one of these bugs, but also just like he's just glad the fucking dragon's dead at this point, and that Rhea, you're okay.
Yeah. Like Rhea would kind of look at him and be like, I know, but they helped us. It's fine. For now.
There are many demons below. Do you have everything you need to do what you need to do? We drove most. There are still dragons in the air, and there are still other things fighting, but most of the city has been evacuated. And the ones that are left have wings. So if you drop the city, they'll be okay.
Okay. Yes, she would look to Say and Daskara and ask, I see you all are here. Thank you for coming to help. Where is Mar? Is he coming as well?
Daskara would actually not answer Rhea right away. I feel like she would walk right past her first and like go to see if the magic cast on Amber was permanent, right? Just to kind of get a sense of it, just because she probably, out of all the siblings, Amber was probably the one she disliked the least, so she would want to know if there was something that could be done.
You could roll Arcana for that.
Okay.
Ivan is gonna watch you pass by him, and you can see that he's still tense, but he's more listening to what Rhea is talking about. So
all right, I got a 13 on an Arcana.
So you get past him because he's obviously focused on what Rhea is saying, and also kind of like making clocking where Jathir is, because theoretically Jathir doesn't have wings, and so he's just kind of clocking things. And you would notice, like, I'm saying, you would notice that Daskara, because that Ivan is making a note of like things going on in this area. On a 13, you've never seen this form of magic before. You know what petrifying spells look like. You know what things are. On a 13, though, you would go to push some of your, like, it's almost like you're trying to heal or cleanse or just wipe away a spell, but there's no spell to be wiped away. This is now a stone without a soul. And even like the idea of life force has been like ripped out of this, wiped away. It almost would make you panic if this was something that you came upon regularly, because this is now something that, like, this is a new, like, a birth of magic. Like, this is now something that has never been seen before in your studies. It's like beyond like the idea of like what primordial or like any of the other flavors of magic is. This is now a new category that you wouldn't know how to name.
I think at that point, Daskara would just sigh and just kind of
Sadly, I can't give you more on a 13.
yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I just figured it was permanent anyway. But I feel like I should ask just
No, that was good. That was good.
Well,
go ahead.
if whenever you're done with the moment, Zahir would probably swap places with you. As if you walk away from Amber's statue, Zahir would be pretty close behind you.
I would, and I would only just kind of walk by and just to kind of tell Rhea he's close enough, and then keep walking.
While you are investigating Amber, Zahir, and I'll let you kind of roll what you feel how you would investigate her. Arcana, nature, investigation, like some form of that. Rhea, you asked, Ismar. And I think that while Duskar is doing that, and Say would look around and then gesture to Byron. And he would, Byron would, breathe out, and he's, messing with this tooth. And he, puts the tooth in his bag and goes, oh, yes, that's my cue. Okay. Okay. And he would pull his shirt down a little bit and dig his thumbnail into his chest and carve a ruin. And you'd watch as through a bunch of the blood that comes out just spill, and it looks it's like an anime version of blood spilling out at this point as Mar forms out of the blood and turns and as he forms, it's in a hugging a pose. So he's hugging Byron as he comes to be, and he stands and stretches, and you can hear all the cracks of him stretching and forming as it takes solid shape. And he goes, good job. That was a little bit bumpier than a ride than I imagined, but when is teleportation not weird? And he would kiss Byron on the forehead and turn and go, ladies, gentlemen, Orc, it's good to see you all. Rhea, what can I do for you that the creator could not?
Hi, Mar. We have managed to get the majority of Entropy's army, part of it at least, directly beneath the city.
Yes. Oh, yes. I would say that the flyers haven't shown up yet. That's really cool. I believe a lot of Entropy's army, but this is not just for an army. I think we're trying to drop a city on top of her, right? That is the plan as he walks. Mar doesn't actually need to step on anything, so he's just kind of walking in circles, out around, kind of making note of the dragon and the rooms below, the things going on. He's looking out. But yeah, during this, I'll let you get back to him in a second. Alex, what did you roll for your investigation type of thing? This is all kind of happening at the same time, so I'm trying to do things at the same time.
Okay, can I realistically, because I did another roll myself.
Just tell me what you rolled and why.
Arcana.
Okay.
As Zahir goes up and just kind of tries to check her friend.
Yep.
This is someone who was important to her over several months. I would like to say that she tries a couple different types of magic that she knows, because obviously she knows a couple different types of primordial magic.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask if I could roll on advantage.
Sure.
I got a nat 20.
Okay, so this is during...
So that's a 24.
24.
Because my other one...
For your investigation on Hish.
Yeah, I rolled on Arcana, so that was... Originally, I got an 18, and I'm like, I feel like Zahir would try a couple different things if she's approached with something. Because again, this is Amber. Amber always had a different way to go about everything, and if she didn't have one way, if it failed, she tried a different way. So Zahir would take that to heart.
What's your perception? What's your what is it? Your base perception? Your what is it?
Oh,
Passive
passive
perception?
perception.
Your passive perception. Yeah, the word passive just
15.
escaped my mind. 15. I rolled 14. Okay, cool. Cool. So you are ignoring Mar. I'm just gonna say that because you are focused on this.
Zahir's like has her like forehead praise to like Amber being like my friend.
Yeah, and in front of you, because there's like it's not stairs, but it's like the incline and decline of the room. Like that's where this was. Like I said, she was holding up. This became like a piece of the base. And Ivan is now at the edge of where this is, looking down, watching Mar kind of circle, and you are doing this. And I would say that you would try different things. You come to many of the same conclusions that Duskara just did. This is magic this is, like I said, a flavor of magic that is almost brand new to you. And there's a twinkle, and then you're used to casting detect good and evil. You're used to like watching and weaving through and kind of like picking through strands of magic to figure out how things work. You're used to casting blessings and like divination on your weapons. You're used to enhancing things. You have used magic before to like change the way your body approaches physical labor. You've done like all of these things, like you're just cycling through everything that this could possibly be. And then you get to how odd and different this is, because now she's a soulless stone. And it's not only that, it's like life force never existed in this thing. And it clicks. It's the same thing that happened to the demon when Ivan ripped from it its thing. And you look, and there's the trail, and it's going to the stone Ivan's holding. And although you realize it in the moment, it's almost like it occurs to you what's happening, and it's almost like just that moment too late. Like you realize it as what's going on. And Rhea, you're speaking. Jathir, you are kind of on the other side of the room with them.
Jathir would have, by this point in time with all this happening, Jathir would have used Misty Step to get down from that ledge that he was on.
Yeah.
Got on top of the dragon and picked up the card he drew from the deck, and the Iron Golem construct would disappear.
Very good.
And you would just see him tuck that card, shuffle it back into the deck, and then he would make his way down by Ivan.
So you're looking, well, you'd be looking up where Mar is, and Ivan, and Mar's circling and talking and kind of being the way he is, because everybody knows how Mar is at this point. And there's a moment that almost feels too long as Mar circles and he's speaking. And in fact, everybody roll me a wisdom saving throw.
$18.
That's Ivan's DC. Nice.
23.
I got a 10.
Yeah, so did I.
24
Like, all I
here.
need to do is not roll a 1.
Right.
So for Rhea and Duskara, this will happen in a flash of a moment. The rest of you are going to be in the moment as it happens. So I'm going to explain. As you realize here what this stone is, he breaks it and it shatters and it rolls up his hand. And before anything can be said, he grabs Mar. And Mar realizes it, and he turns to look, and he grabs Mar's face, and he smiles, and you hear Ivan say, "You know, They used to say that you were the nightmare before the dawn. I am the real nightmare here. And he starts ripping through Mar and pulls off, like, you watch as, like, his face starts to pull outwards. And Ivan goes, I just need a little more. And he, like, looks down and realizes there's nothing else there. And so he just shoves his hand through his own stomach and starts pulling out his own, like, wing from behind. And you watch as all of it starts to, like, fizzle and, like, twist and ebb. And Mar screams and goes, what? And Ivan drops. And there's a as the whole moment passes. Ivan can't concentrate on time stop anymore. So the two of you come out of the time loop as you watch Ivan's body eject backwards and slam into the wall, and Mar's cloak and body fall to the ground. His face is twisted and, like, has holes in it. And Ivan, like, stands up with this, like, hole in him, and he's holding a picture perfect mask of Mar's face with a smile on it. He starts laughing. And he goes, oh, fuck. I didn't think I was going to be able to do that. That's fantastic. And he lets go, and the mask falls to the ground. And he goes, I thought it would float. All right, I'll work on that. Whew. Anyway, you all can now come with us or stay here with your dead gods. But I have things to do. And he's going to turn and lift the mask up and begin to, like, slam it into the wall of force. And you're going to watch as reality starts to and, like, ebb outwards. By all means, you all have time to react. Jathir, you have no more magic currently. You gain magic from your patron, and Mar just theoretically went out. So realistically, during this moment, you couldn't cast anything.
Seeing all of this, seeing what Ivan did, and seeing her last plan
Unless
she
it's
had
attached to your
up in
racial
smoke.
ability or an item. I'm so sorry, Jathir. Your items still work. Your innate racial abilities still work. Your patron magic wouldn't work. Your pact magic, I would say.
Would my sorcerer magic still work?
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. Nice. I didn't realize you had that. Whatever. Fuck me. Go ahead.
How close or how far are we away from him?
Duskara, you're like 15 feet away from him at this point.
Rhea would just, like I said, seeing her whole plan go up in smoke, this was the one thing that she was somewhat betting on to be able to stop this. And the amount of effort she went through to try to make a bargain with this god that she hates.
I know.
Seeing Ivan fuck something up for her again would probably draw her sword and be like, Ivan, what the hell did you just do? And I don't think she would have any control over her actions anymore. She would just charge him to try to swing her sword on him.
Cool. Noted.
Same with Zahir. Zahir's a moment too late. That's not something that often happens with Zahir in their battle sense. Zahir has a hand axe and has it chucked at Ivan's face.
Okay. Throwing hand axe. Cool.
I think some of the only emotion as Zahir just kind of gutturally yells at the loss of their friend and knowing that her soul was taken from her.
And you watched him just absorb it to do what he did. Yeah. Very good.
So it's a guttural yell and a throwing of that hand axe.
When Zahir throws her hand axe, Jathir will use Gust and blow. Both your axe would be knocked off course, but you both would need to make a strength 16 save or get pushed 5 feet backwards.
That means you'll roll on disadvantage to hit.
Okay.
And then I think Doontal's gonna try to Misty Step right behind Ivan and just like try to like sneak the mask out of his hand.
Do I still get that +3 Zahir?
Okay.
Yeah, if you're close enough.
You'll Misty Step behind Ivan and attempt to like strength check him because he's holding the mask up. So
Yeah.
All right, we'll strength. Okay, cool. So
See if he can like redirect it. You know.
Very cool. I like that. Okay, so we'll do that in order. Also, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh. Okay.
I was just gonna relay the effects from that.
Okay. The second all of this begins to happen, when Mars' body falls, Say screams, and you watch as she just tears, like it looks like when Nightcrawler fucking teleports, except for like it's almost like after images of her as she tears through like the floor to try and like get to Ivan, screaming. And we'll go through all of that right now. That being said, Rhea, you are first with Jathir. So Rhea, Jathir, and Zathir, your stuff will happen at the same time because it's a reaction to what goes on. Doontal, we will strength check right after that with Say coming in at the end of all that, and whatever Duskara would do will happen when Say does it. So Rhea and Zathir, give me your course of shit.
So him doing the gust of wind with Zahir's +3, she would make it. So I imagine Rhea would be able to like stand firm and not be pushed back, but because of that, the roll on disadvantage with the sword did miss. So I feel like it would swing just right in front of Ivan's face, like barely.
I think it would swing behind him because he's facing away from you all, like shoving them at, but he's like aware of what's going on.
Yeah, like she wouldn't be pushed back, but like because of that, she would be thrown off balance, so her sword would miss.
We'll say that as the sword goes, like you see like his wings like fly out, almost like to deflect it. That's fine. Zathir.
What I think actually, so I, even with disadvantage, I got a 22 to hit with the axe.
Yep.
And I have to imagine with Zahir's battle experience, even though, because Zahir actually missed save just by a couple. So Zahir will still get pushed back into Amber Statue. But I would imagine Zahir's, because it's a cantrip, Zahir's mage hand kind of plucks the axe back on course.
She's gonna
Robin Hood it. To account for the gust of wind, Zahir's done enough weird things in battle to make it work. Where
how much damage would your hand axe do?
I'll roll it real fast. Oh, that's fun. It's just 10, and she's more aiming his face because it sucks right now.
Again, hand axe like kind of fly, and the wing will take it. Like his wing it'll slam into one of his wings as he like does it. Doontal, let's. I will allow you to either give me strength or athletics for us doing this, and I'm gonna roll against you. Let me roll. I'll roll first and give you the number that you need if you want. Unless you want to keep the number you just rolled. I can't see it.
Okay, I'll just roll against whatever you roll. Let's do athletics.
Okay, cool. I got a 21. It's a dirty one though.
All right. Oh. Huh. That is a 23.
Yep. Orc strong.
Orc strong.
What are you attempting to do exactly? You
just
said you're
like
trying to redirect.
Kind of like twist his arm a little, I guess, to like.
Okay.
So
you're trying to like pull it down,
make
so
him
he
drop
can't
it.
He can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, make him drop the mask.
So you'd pull his arm down, and so now you two are kind of. I mean, you both are tall, which is kind of fun. Like I've said the whole time that Ivan is the tallest one out of all of these brothers. He's standing up straight. You kind of pull his arm down, and you are looking like eye to eye for a second, and then you realize that for some reason he actually starts to inch you out a little bit. You can see where you guys were at eye level, it's now him going higher, and now you're looking not up, but like your head is on a cocked angle looking up at him as his body almost like elongates out slightly as you hold his arm, And he's just gonna smile. My orc friend, let go. This is the only chance you're going to get to leave.
The people need help.
Then
And
go help
Doontal's not
them.
gonna let go.
He's gonna say, then go help them instead of waste your life on this.
With that, I think Doontal will let go.
Doskara and Say. So Doskara, what are you doing? I'm going to have Say charge into him in a second.
Right. Discard would cast Entangle to try and stop his movement.
What do I have to roll for that?
It's a strength check of 17.
Yep, I'm good. I got a 17 plus his 4 for strength, so.
Okay.
You watch the webs like come up, and then Say is going to just tackle into him angrily, lashing out. Say looks a little different in this moment because whereas you all have seen Say very calm and chirpy and manic, this is her like full anger, facing something. She has these giant claws, and like some of the bug armor looks like it's like popped out of her skin at this point. She has like, it almost looks like her tears are like pulling out in like this dark mist behind her, and she just launches into him and starts like trying to like just push any type of sharp object she has into him. And Ivan will, as Doontal, as you step to the side, Ivan will let go of the mask as it like hits the air and starts to like pull and pulse, and with his open arm he will grab Say and hold her and shake her once and say, look, this is gonna happen, and you are my least favorite sibling, so don't take this for lightly that I let you go. And he throws her down to the ground, to the side. All of the electricity and the art and everything starts to pulse and pull out. Whose turn is it now? I think that would make it Rhea's turn. Yep. Rhea. Roll perception.
Perception. That was right there on that nat 20. That is stupid. It's a 5.
Okay. Are you attacking him?
I feel like the thing that would have caught her attention the most with her is that damn gust of wind that she knows where the fuck that came from. Oh, for sword to miss. So I feel like if her eyes could be on fire, like they probably would be, and she would turn in like evil
reasonable.
Glare.
Sounds reasonable to me. Oh, are you looking at Jathir? Oh, wait. If you're turning to look at Jathir, by all means, please give me an advantage on that perception roll.
Come on.
I thought she was focused on Ivan here.
If I add the +3, it'll be 15.
Jathir is standing on the dragon. I think we figured that out. Mars' body, I think, would be pretty close to Jathir. When you turn to look and see Jathir, to like glare at him and give it mean mug Jathir, I guess, you would see for the moment Mars' body kind of like twists, like it's trying to like sit up. And that's on you if you want to do something with that.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. She was gonna chuck a fireball at Jathir, but fine.
Chuck a fireball just there.
She
Casual,
hates
you
that
know.
guy.
It's casual.
I mean, you could.
Casual
Seeing as-
fireball.
Seeing as Mar is her one chance to really stop as much of this as she can, yes, she would try to help Mar.
Okay. Your turn is now being held then.
Okay.
Jathir and Duntal will get a turn before what happens. Jathir? Theoretically, you have a moment of reaction or action before I have things happen.
Things.
Okay. Well then.
That being said, you also know that Ivan's getting what he wants at this point. It depends on how much you care about how he's getting what he wants.
If you're watching this, I'm also equally confused what's happening. So please don't also trust me.
Name of the episode is Equally Confused. No.
I'm
Close
also
is
confused.
everyone to- how grouped up is everybody?
Most of them are within. Well, now everybody pretty much is within 20 feet of Ivan. So, except for
Okay.
you and Belzoc.
And I got pushed back because of your damn wind spell.
Yeah. So I would say everybody's within 40 feet of each other.
Okay. Well then, since everyone's all so close together, I'm going to cast Sleep at 5th level, and everyone in the 20-foot area will need to make a saving throw of a. Oh no, it's not even a saving throw. It's by HP.
Yeah, go
So-
for it, man. That's beautiful.
I have so much I want to. I have so much I want to say about how someone here, unnamed, thought that my gnome wizard was the one who was going to like go crazy and nuts and decide that she could take over the party at any time. Multiple times this was instigated. I would just like to say this on record, the fact that this is being recorded and I have evidence. And my gnome wizard
I also,
actually did a lot of good shit.
I gotta tell you, I really didn't. We didn't plan this, him and I. I need you to understand. Like, I kind of thought that when Mar fell, he would be like, well, time to kill Ivan. But I'm kind of cool with all this. So let's go. What are we doing? How much is the sleep doing?
The person with 47 or less HP, I rolled 47 total. So anyone below that falls asleep, and then let me know how much HP you had when you fell asleep to apply to the next person.
So the next person in...
So who's got the lowest HP?
Who has the lowest HP? Out of you three.
28.
I have 59.
I'm at 93 still.
I'm at 83.
Okay, so Zahir falls asleep on the spot.
Yep.
Cool. Wow. Good job, Jathir. Is your turn over?
No, I'm also going to bonus action. I'm going to draw 2 more cards and
Let's go.
throw one in front of Rhea and throw one in front of Duntal and
Yeah, could you just give me the numbers?
okay, so the one going towards Rhea is an 18,
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
and the
You
one
rolled
going
2.
to, yeah, and then the other
Oh,
one's a 31.
16, 17, 18. Oh wow, how interesting. Okay, Rhea, that's a. You said the other one's a 31.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird one. Okay. I'm I'm gonna do the Rhea one first because it's easier for me to explain than what happens with Jathir, because that's weird. Or not Jathir. What happens with Duntal? That's a weird one. Rhea, these first of all, Rhea, actually. Well, no, I'll have to wait for that first. So you he like, you see him throw the card, and these like torches and they look like brass lanterns start to shake out, and these two like large white spirits form, and then you would see one of the dead wardens from that died in the original assassination come out and start praying, and it would look up, and its eyes would turn and shift into the orange and black streaks that the other kamikaze like assassins had, and it would smile, and its teeth would rip out into fangs, and it would launch itself at you. Let's see. So for Duntal, though, it's a weird one. Duntal, you step back from holding Ivan, and you would turn, and as you turn, there are like 20 or 30 Jathirs just pointing and laughing and like rolling in and out of existence. Like it almost looks like they're like portaling, like if you saw that Spider-Man movie, like Spot kind of like has like the things pop up in different, but it's just tons of Jathirs, like, and it's loud and it echoes, and it almost like devours your senses as far as like everything going on. Yeah, good effects there, Jathir.
What is happening?
Zathir, you are asleep. Say is on the floor. Cool. Belzak is going to like lose it, I think. And he's gonna be like, brother, that's it. I've suffered you long enough. And you're gonna watch Belzak's wings fully form, and instead of like the black that normally happens, it's just gold light as he puts both of his hands out, and I will launch. It's 4 guiding bolts into Ivan. I will also take a picture of this because I've never rolled guiding bolt for any of my NPCs before, so I'm kind of excited.
Make sure he canonically uses the finger guns.
Well, that's what I was saying. He does the fingers, like, you know what I mean? So I'll do that, and then Ivan will take his turn, and we will move on from there. Where's my fucking phone? That's stupid. That's cool. Whatever. Oh, here it is. Brief intermission while I take a fucking picture.
Did they hit?
Yeah.
Obviously. And it's a ridiculous hit.
Yeah.
Better be some nat 20s in there.
Big number.
Clearly all 4 hit. Because the way he did it.
There you go.
Stupid. Stupid, man. Where is our fucking...
Look, it's required. You may not do it any other way. It's been proven.
Right.
Yes.
It's 2 20s, an 18, and a 19.
Yes.
Shut up!
So stupid.
So stupid.
Can you insert that photo like here?
It's so silly.
It has to go on screen. It has to.
Yeah, alright. I'll make sure to put it on the screen. Okay.
And that's 4 of them.
That sounds about right.
Belzak's guiding bolts are these like very small, thin lines of like light, and as they hit it, once they find target, they expand really fast into a blinding light. So you watch as he like puts out both of his fingers like this, and the little lines And Ivan pushes forward and kind of like breathes out. He says, "It's okay. There's no more need to suffer. I've gotten everything I want. Jathir, my friend, are you coming with me?"
Of course.
Good. And he reaches his hand out, and Dimension Door opens, and he pulls you, and both of you walk through the rip in reality. It's just open, pulsing. There's nothing on the other side that they can see. Jathir, this is where you will exit with Ivan. Thank you so much for being part of this. If you have any parting words, though, by all means, give them as you all walk away.
Not that I think that you'll care, but you should know it's nothing personal. Everyone has their own agenda. You fulfilled yours, I fulfill mine. Maybe we'll meet again. Maybe we won't. Only time will tell. And he'll step through the portal.
Ivan will just say, "Don't worry, the door remains open." And they both walk, and there's this just door-sized dimensional rip in reality right here, leading to what's assumed to be the Fey Realm. Belzak would land next to Rhea. What are we doing now? Zahir, you'd wake up. He
I
left.
figured when
he left.
I figured when he left, the spell was now wiping the drool.
I guess we're still trying to stick to the plan. I don't know. All we've got is Mar. That's all we've got. If we can't drop this city and stop entropy, what was all this for?
That is the funniest sentence to hear one of my players say. I just need you all to realize. Anyway, go on.
My cards are still theirs.
Oh God, are they?
Oh,
This is
are
the
they?
trippiest
Cast
day.
some scorching rays at them and just set them on fire.
I didn't pick them up. They're still there.
I'm setting them on fire. That'll be my turn.
When you leave, I think the illusions would go away. To say it out loud. That's very good, though. I love it.
Yeah, when you went to attack them, they would shatter into like frost and like cold morning mist. They were just illusions. My deck is a deck of illusions, not a deck of many things.
You live in proximity of Aaron. I want you to understand this. This is something you have brought on yourself. You can see her face.
Way gave me the item.
No, I'm talking to both of you. This is not a fan. Trust me, this is not a Phantom only moment. Both of you are in the vicinity.
I already sleep on the couch.
I just want it to be said canonically, out loud, that I can safely pay rent by myself.
Go up!
Hey, Aaron, don't check your mailbox in like the next 5 to 7 business days. Just no reason.
All right, so beautiful. Belzak will look down and say, "All right, Rhea, if I trust you, so if that is your wish," and he'll step and fall toward, glide towards where Mar is, and lean down. And he'll pull his hand out and crush a diamond and slam it into his chest. And this giant wall of light will and start emanating off of him. And in the middle of all of it, you'll see Mar's face like twist back to where it's supposed to be. And Mar's hand will reach up and like put it on Belzak's shoulder. And you'll see his real face for the first time. Normally it's like a big skull with like horns drawn back. But you see this like very elven human looking face. Like this like really like tan skin. He has long, like very, very like Crayola red hair that almost looks like it can't be real because there's no like edge to it. It just is like a emanating like red light behind him. And he's gonna like use Belzak to stand up, you know? And he'll it didn't kill me. I don't thank you for the for going to revive me when you are not one of my kin. He'd breathe out.
Just for like a second, like I followed him down there and I was standing over him too, and I look at Mar and say, I saved you. Now help us.
Oh, there's no reason to be this angry towards your uncle. And he's gonna turn and look around. And then like clock or Sapphire and everybody is and say, okay. Well, and he'll like lean back and think for a moment. Yep, there she is. And you'll hear the roar and the world will shake as the other dragons begin to descend on the northern army. The giant yellow one, multi-headed colored different dragons. These dragons the size of mountains pierce the sky. All different forms of breath weapon come out. And Mar would look up towards Duntal and say, would you like to be with your army?
Duntal wouldn't have it any other way. Time to leave to rally forces, so
you don't need to leave. I will bring you there. And he will like shift open and you'll see this giant like circle peer out of the air. And it's a picture perfect vision of the front of your army line as demons collide with the orcs and the dragons begin to push through the sky down towards them. And he says, I can get you there, friend, but I will not be there for a moment. You will have to live until I can do something. But I will send you to your people.
Duntal has done worse. And I'm gonna head on in. Head through the portal.
As you go, he'll give you advantage on your next roll, which you'll need in a second.
Yep.
And then he'll call and say, Byron, Latine, these are your people too. And Latine will look up and be like, well. And Mar will nod, and then Latine, Byron will turn and go, well, I guess I'm joining you again for a little bit longer. Shall we go?
Of course. Just like old times.
I don't remember them, but yes, let's make more old times, shall we? That would mean we as the portal closes, you'd hear Byron saying, that means we have to live through this as the portal closes on them both. Duntal, we'll get to you in a minute. Actually, I'm gonna let you do some rolling for what happens with all this. Mar will turn to Zahir and Duskara and say, and he'll say, Duskara, say, Entropy will be here in a moment. Would you two like to leave so that we, like we spoke about?
Yes.
Please do. I will meet you all after this is over. If you would go to my tree, the one I showed you, on the edge of the cliff where the water is.
Of course.
It has been more than a pleasure making friends. Thank you. And he would like do a little bow to you guys. And Say would like run up and hug him and like kiss him on the fucking cheek and then turn around and say, you have to live because I really enjoy flying. He would nod, and you two would leave. So,
I think
Duskara, if you have
that's-
any last words for them, you may say them on your way out.
I think she would look over to Zahir and just kind of be like, sorry for your loss, and then look over at Rhea and be like, don't die. And, like, roll her eyes and like walk off.
Zahir would nod, but with affection. She thought they were fun.
Right.
And
Mar.
then she kind of would say, and she'd be like, oh, I rearranged your board, by the way, and then leave.
Nice. Mar gesturing towards Zahir. I don't know you. Do you have somewhere that you need to be?
I think Zahir would look at Rhea and Belzak, acknowledging everything that they've done for them. In light of motioning at Amber, recent events, I must take care of Amber Hish's legacy. I need to be put in the best position to protect her daughter.
Legacy.
That is how I choose to repay my friend. So will go out swinging, but if you're able to position me and bring me to her, I swear on my honor that I will keep her safe.
I do not know these people, Rhea. Can you show me what the daughter she is speaking of?
Yeah, I feel like she would, if she had some way, she would reach over and touch Mars' shoulder.
You can give him the. I'm sure.
So
you
I
have a
can give
cantrip
him
that
the
can do it.
image of Maddie,
Right.
so he can see who she is.
When he sees her, he's able to divinate where she is, as long as she's on a living plane that is touched by Fey magic. Mar has, if any primordial or Fey magic is used, Mar is able to see that thing anytime it's used, because it all comes from him.
It's terrifying.
So he would look into where Fey, like the wild chaotic magic is used, and he'd find her and pinpoint her. She is with a couple taller women and and Bilal, the angel that promised to get them all away. But they are parting from the rest of the group and going further south while the rest of the group moves away. So she is now alone, walking alone with one other person who is her caregiver, and this large robot now that has one eye in it behind her that's cloaked. He shakes his head and goes, right. Well, it is important to keep our promises after all. Here. And he picks up one of the hand axes that you'd have thrown and throws it to you. And as you catch it, you will appear in front of where the girl is. So as she's rounding a corner, very alone with this tall war robot, and that's our protector, Virgil would stop her for a second and begin to cast as it's you, and then immediately Maddie would recognize you and run and hug your knee. This is where you leave as well. You still have the death ward on your shoulder. And you can talk about where you would take Maddie if you would like. For in this moment, you, Virgil, and Maddie would make it with the handmaiden of them all, one of Rhea's handmaidens, actually, that was never named, would escort you guys back to wherever you would go. Where would you be going at this time, Zahir?
Home. I think Zahir would, with Amber's last message, wanting her daughter to keep with what she learned and what she wanted in her final moments, Zahir would pick up Maddie and put her on their shoulders and say, "All right, Maddie, let's go home. I've got a song and a pot pie waiting for me." And I think they would make their way with Virgil. And if whatever the handmaiden chooses to do, I don't think Zahir would make the handmaiden stay, but if Zahir would still protect everyone, knowing that they can get everyone home, and to continue on with what Zahir was taught when they were younger.
Handmaiden, having no name, would still say, "This is my duty. I will happily escort her to make sure she finds her life. Also, as long as Virgil's around, I feel safe." So, Virgil, being fairly stoic, would just kind of like nod. You would make your way back to Riverbrook, where you would make your home. And after many, many years, it would become known as Riverstone. But for now, this is where we're going. Awesome. We're left with Belzak, Rhea, and Mar in a room.
Interesting company.
Mar would look around and go, "Okay. Well, I think that is a good wrap up to that. You called me here to fight, or to what? Make sure your people lived? I can't do that if they're going to fight Entropy and her kin. You need me to turn the tide on something for you. I can do that. I can stop her. I can bring her somewhere. But I don't currently have the power in me after what just happened to stop my sibling."
Does he not have at this point, from what I guess what you're saying is he no longer has the ability to help me drop the city on her? Because that was my initial plan.
He can drop the city on Entropy. He has more than enough power to disenchant something. He's talking fully about him fighting Entropy. And if that is the goal of this for you, to see her fall, there has to be something else that can be done. I don't have a way to... Well, I mean, I do have a way. I have many versions of ways of things to do, but I think that staying in the grace of our agreement, you brought me here to stop Entropy.
Yes.
Well, I would say that we can figure that out together.
Okay. What does that look like? What do you need?
And he'd turn and he'd say, "You know, the creator is my brother. We were made at the same time. I feel like in your stories and in your teachings, many of you forget that. It's not like he's older. There was no time back in the day. Right then and there. Same instant. Creation, myself, Kronos. We exist on a scale that's slippery. Magic comes from us. the realities that you walk come from us. You all are his kin, but that means some of you are also mine and tainted just slightly. And he'd reach out and put his hand on Belzoc's face. And he'd say, just slightly, right, Belzoc? And you'd watch as his eyes shatter and all the black lines pull out from him. And then he lets go. And they go back. And Belzoc starts to cough. And almost like readies his sword. I think there is a way. But first, if you would like to drop this island on top of her army, I think that would be very helpful for your people.
Okay. We'll start there. That seems like a good plan.
All right. And he puts his hand out to shake with you.
I feel like she would kind of reluctantly, slowly just reach forward. Can't believe she's doing this. And shake.
All right, it's a pact. I will see you then after we drop the island.
Okay.
Cool. Duntal.
Hello.
You are in front of this line. Your orcs have built these giant, like just war machines. And there are goblins and casters and humans and just all forms of things just cutting through demons. Back and forth. You see then the sky cracks and the dragons begin to descend. These, like I said, these aren't just the smaller dragons. These aren't even the red dragon that we just fought. These are mammoths, mountain ranges that have come from the sky to fight with you. And all you have to do, is to bring these backwards below this floating city. So I need you to go ahead and rally your troops to move back while still fighting. And then we will do some rolling to see what happens with this fight. And if you have any other little interesting quirk or like thing that you think you can pull out of nowhere to do to make this easier, we will add that to it all. So just give me on the fly a very quick, interesting plan of how you are going to pull this army back and then somehow get them out while the whole mountain falls on top of it. Or you can stay and die a grand death with the dragons, hopefully, or do something, or just give me some idea of what's happening here. And these are your closing moments to a war that you never wanted to be a part of.
So true, bestie. All right. Duntal's going to gesture to like the next nearest orc to sound off the fall back, sort of a tune on their horn.
Mm-hmm.
Something that everyone will be able to hear just real quickly, and they'll all kind of know it because, they've been in an army together for long enough.
Right.
And Duntal's gonna cast Conjure Animals at 5th level and summon 4 giant eagles.
Nice.
To pick himself up and Latine Byron on one, and then the other 3 are going to pick up a few of the other orcs who aren't on like their own machines or vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna fly up and sort of just taunt the dragons, right? Staying like just out of their range to not fall and get blasted with whatever breath weapon they have, but enough that they can hear us and try to aggro on us, I guess.
Okay.
That's what I got.
Okay. Wow. Okay, cool. And then Okay. Okay. This is how we're gonna do this.
Mm-hmm.
You are the leader.
Yep.
So give me a charisma roll with advantage for the first thing. And then I'd like a survival roll and then a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Okay. And just tell me what you get on them.
All right. Charisma roll with advantage.
Yeah.
Here we go. Ooh, that is a 7.
Okay.
Not the most charismatic fellow.
That's okay.
Wait, you get advantage. Oh, you already rolled advantage.
I got
never
a
mind.
6 and a 7. Yep.
You can use
Let's
your,
say, I'm like,
you
you
can
had
use
the
your the advantage that Mar gave you though. You can use on the survival or the dex, and you have to choose ahead of time.
Okay. I'll use the advantage on the deck.
Okay.
Save. So then just a regular survival roll.
Yep.
This one's a +6, so we're hoping for the best. Nice. That is a 23, it looks like.
Nice. That was theoretically the most important one.
Okay.
That's the positioning of the dragons.
Okay. And then that's dex save with advantage.
Yep.
Man, these dice are slow. Oh, okay. The 2 dice kind of bounced off each other. The first one looks like it was about to be a 19, and then it rolled to a 1, and then the second one's a 19, so it's a 20.
Nice. Okay. I'm gonna let you choose then on that. Cool. All right.
Sorry, say again?
I'm gonna let you choose what happens with that in a second then. Okay.
Okay.
So charisma wise, you appear. You look around. You call for the horn to be blown. And while some people start to fall back, you look down and there's some goblins running past. One of them is like, looks up at you and goes, "It's time to leave."
Okay. Oh yeah, he's looking at me. So, yes, fall back, lure them in.
Oh, okay. Let's go. And he like turns and like all the other like little goblins start coming, and there's all these little tiny ones behind him, and they have like these little flags made of socks as they like run like off into the woods.
Yes.
So they leave with you. The eagles come. They're bringing you up on a survival with 23. I'm gonna say that you expertly do this. You might lose like one of the eagle riders to trying to like figure out this giant yellow dragon mammoth of a mountain thing, but then it does something that you just don't expect, because most of the time, as you know, you fought dragons before, all of them always have this like these breath weapons of like fire or molten earth, or like even like these beams of like ice. This yellow one, you've never seen a yellow dragon before. It breathes in and it's like this air blast of just like this, it almost feels like moisture rolls over you, and you realize you can't breathe, so you gotta like duck down under. And as the eagle brings you, you can take a breath for a second, and you look up, and the 3 dragons start to barrel in on you, and you are right beneath this giant thing. As you look up and see the dragon starting to dip, you can see the world almost looks wrong in the sky, as taking form is this giant black miasma of ebbing, and then you see it like peel out, and it's teeth. And you've never seen this. It's almost like a sea of teeth rolling into like different directions. They're all moving. And then there's eyes and a woman floating in the middle of all of it as entropy begins to descend from the sky herself. This is the horizon line can't contain her. This looks like if there was to say a army of just moving chainsaw-like teeth falling from the sky, this is what this is. And at that moment, we will go to Rhea, who gets to roll now for a couple things. Rhea, you know where the bindings are that you have to take apart.
Yeah.
And you know that you have to do this. So what I need from you is a Constitution saving throw and then a survival check.
Okay. Jeez. That's an 8 for Constitution.
How much health do you have?
59.
Okay.
And a 12 for survival.
Okay. The binding takes your life force to rip apart. This is connected to you at a very real level. This is a secret that you've held dear to your heart. And as you start to do this, Belzoth watches. He's defending you against demons, dragons, anything that would come this way. And he turns, and you have this moment as the binding shatters in front of you, and you feel your own life starting to peel away. You look at Belzoth, and your vision starts to swim. And there's a moment where you start to hallucinate almost. It's like watching different moments of his past. This is somebody that you've spent more time than your life has given defending him, hiding his secrets, watching him grow. It's like your son. And then you start to see things that you don't remember. You see forward. You can see Mar now standing with Belzoth and them shaking hands like you and him did, and him reaching in and pulling his face off into a mask, and Belzoth smiling as it happens, knowing for a moment he looks almost like he's breaking the fourth wall of his own moment and looks over to see you. And he smiles and says, "It'll be empty."
He says what?
He says, "It'll be empty. I'm coming to find you, Rhea." And then you watch again as now there are all of these dragons swarming on paladins that wear your colors and defend this giant tall spire that reaches up into the heavens, as this one woman with her helmet off rushes up and jumps off, and she has your colors, and she has this giant sword of frost and ice and lightning as she strikes down this one dragon, and it rips apart in half, and she just sails to the ground smiling. And you can see the creator again standing, becoming a woman of elvish descent with long hair, and sitting at a table now with Kronos, who you've met before, talking with a young man that you've never seen before, and them explaining that they've held so dear to them something, as you realize it's your essence getting passed around, as they craft a gun, this weapon from you, and hand it to this man and say, "Don't worry, this will be able to get you the vengeance that you deserve. You'll have one last chance to do this." And this boy in a cloak, wearing the colors of you and Belzoth, hold it, and his soul binds to you. And for a moment you can hear in his voice, you can hear in your mind again this pulse of life and beauty, and you hear the kid's voice say, together we'll kill him. I promise. And then you fall in front of Belzok, dead, as the entire mountain range collides on top of the dragons, and entropy begins to descend. Thank you all for being here for this. I've had a wonderful time telling this story. I really, really love you all, and I hope you all enjoyed our mini-series, and I hope you all come to watch later some more. I think next we're doing The War of Fangs, which is about vampires and stuff, and then we'll get back to the Cold Meadow stuff after that. Thank you guys. I love you. Have a great day.